Hi guys, and welcome back to another Doctor Who review, and today we'll be reviewing episode 10 of Doctor Who series 10, The Eaters of Light, written by Mona Munro. And since you really enjoyed my preview introduction scene for my preview for The Eaters of Light, I've decided to do a different type of introduction scene for this review, and by spending some glorious time in the sunshine right here. It's absolutely so boiling today. It's like 30 odd degrees where I'm recording this, but my gosh, I'm actually recording this in my back garden actually. So really guys, all I have to say is get yourself a really cold cool drink. You've got to love cola, and also get yourself guys some good gourmet popcorn. I mean, if Nardo was over here, he'd be stealing and nagging at my popcorn so much. And let's begin my review on The Eaters of Light. Enjoy. Can't really see the light there, can you? No, you can't really see the lights. Anyway, let's begin the review. Hi guys, and welcome back to another Doctor Who Series 10 review, and today I'll be reviewing my thoughts on The Eaters of Light, episode 10 of Series 10. And we are so close to the finale, but this is the final singular episode before we go to the finale, which looks so awesome. I expect big things for the finale since it is Steven Moffat's final finale. Let's just hope he does not muck it up. Please just don't. And anyway, if I do feel a bit out of place, I do sound really tired because it's been so hot today. When I've just been filming this, it is really hot. And I'm not like saying like 24 degrees outside. Oh no, I'm speaking like 20, like I don't know, 37 degrees inside. So it just feels like my unusual body temperature and stuff, but I'm absolutely so hot, so I apologise if I do sound a bit tired and a bit breathless because it's just so hot. Oh, us humans can never be happy at all. We're never happy when it's so hot, and we're never happy when it's too cold. Oh, humans will never be happy. But anyway, my original thoughts on The Eaters of Light, Mona Munro's first ever modern Who story for Doctor Who. And yeah, it was not that bad at all. I was really expecting something great, and yeah, it was a great episode. There was nothing majorly brilliant about it. It's not one of the best of Series 10, which I would usually say, but I felt it was a really great, authentic, historical episode, which I actually really like. And the mystery with the Ninth Legion, how was that answered? I thought it was answered quite well. I mean, the creature was really amazing though, because we saw the creature in its true defined form, its visual form. The creature looked, in my eyes, a crossover between a crocodile and a jellyfish. It has that crocodile body and also has those kind of jellyfish tentacles coming out of its mouth, eating away at the light, and also how it consumes light from all of the Ninth Legion soldiers of the Roman Empire, and how that got through to this dimension to destroy all of the Ninth Legion. I mean, the barbarians, the Pits, they thought they brought this creature through another dimension and they would use it to destroy the Roman army, because the Roman army, the Ninth Legion, destroyed all of the possessions of all of the Pits, of what they had or what they loved, family members, relatives, stuff like that. But there were so many battles between the Pits and also the Romans, and so there was a lot of conflict, which I really like. And I thought the Pits, they were really good, especially that one character, Car, who felt that she would be more in the dead all the time, and she felt that she was the person, the gatekeeper, keeping the creature back, but she didn't really. And she gave a very great description about the Romans. I thought about that description that she did, it made sense. But when I saw the Romans with Bill within this episode, it generally popped up a theory in my mind that these Romans are not exactly what Carr described when she said all these Romans are robberies of the world. If they won't rob the land, they'll rob the sea. If their enemies are rich, they will steal it. If their enemies are poor, they will make slaves out of them. I don't really see these Romans as very strong and very powerful and brutal and slaughterous Romans at all. I see them as very scared, but also very cowardly Romans as well. But also, as Bill said in the episode, it's fine to be scared. Scared is human, and it's natural for people to be scared. And I thought that Bill with the Romans, I thought that the Romans were really, really good. And just their costumes as well. I mean, the person who's done all these costumes for Series 10 should deserve a big, massive round of applause, because all the costumes for our Series 10 is just... they're just so amazing. And I thought the Romans and the barbarians with all the face painting just looked very authentic, and it felt traditional in my opinion. And speaking about traditional ways and traditional cultures of these Romans and these Picts, the traditional music by Murray Gold, it's a big massive thing that I really enjoyed through this episode. I mean, the music is what kept me entertained, and I thought that the music just felt so authentic, and it felt so of a true way to really tell the historical events, like the mystery of the Ninth Legion. It's so brilliant by Murray Gold. I mean, Murray Gold with this music did an absolutely sublime job. One of his best music creations, honestly. I have to say, the music is just brilliant. And especially matching up with the music as well as with the scenery as well. Aberdeen in Scotland, I mean, the location filming is just sublime as well. Absolutely superb settings. It just felt of a very peaceful location for a perfect Doctor Who episode. And I think that when they chose this kind of scenery, I thought it really helped well. And also the dark setting with the gloomy, dark, dull and eerie kind of atmosphere when Bill and the Roman were trying to get away from the Eaters of Light. And I thought that the atmosphere of the dark setting really helped with the atmosphere. There was certainly atmosphere, there was certainly tension, and also I thought that the episode had really great pacing, in my opinion. Many people would criticise that this episode lacked a bit of pace, but I actually really enjoyed this episode. I was a bit doubting that this episode was hopefully going to get into the mood of things sooner or later, but overall I thought this episode was really good. I think for Mona Munro's first Modern Who episode, I think she did a really good job. My first thoughts for it, I thought that this episode felt really much like a Classic Who episode and a modern episode, just mixed together, and I find that's a really new flavour to me, because when you think of a Classic Who, it's very much a run around story and telling all of the events in the you know, Modern Who, you know, kind of era. When they do modern kind types of episodes, they teach us and we learn so much through these episodes, through Modern Who. And I feel like that this kind of episode feels like a mixture between Classic Who and Modern Who. And I see that as a very new flavour, and I really like that. And I really liked the funny comments from Nardole. I thought Nardole, in his bright orange dressing gown, I thought he was brilliant as well, because he was really hilarious. And I have to mention this, the one quote that I absolutely loved from Nardole, and I have to say it was my favourite quote of the entire episode: "Death by Scotland." Wow, where did that came from? Nardole saying "Death by Scotland." Oh, I have to say, no more word comments about that. Death by Scotland is my highlight quote of this episode. Death by Scotland. I can't believe that Nardole actually said that. And actually, the Doctor's from Glasgow, I think. I think Peter Capaldi is from Glasgow, I'm not mistaken. But this episode is set in Aberdeen, so at least this episode is set in Scotland, and Peter Capaldi is Scottish, so what could possibly go wrong? And Nardole did commented, and he said, "Oh, it's all like very damp here." And then the Doctor said, "It's Scottish. It's supposed to be damp, obviously." So I thought the Doctor in this episode was really outstanding. I think this was one of his best performances. And also, apart from his Doctor essence within this episode, I very much saw a very much Malcolm Tucker kind of essence in him. Like from the In the Loop, if you've not seen that film, it's a really great, hilarious film with Peter Capaldi in it, and he swears a lot in it, and he really gets uptight and becomes a very much brute. And I really like his swearing in that movie. I think it's brilliant, and the way that he added a bit of his Malcolm Tucker essence, of him being very shouty, being very ignorant and very irritating towards Carr, of saying like, oh, is this the person who defeated all the Romans? Surely it can't be you, you're just an embryo. And it just feels that Peter Capaldi with his Malcolm Tucker essence, that kind of swearing in your face, being uptight, being very shouting, very commanding towards the barbarians and also to the Romans as well, like, just grow the hell up! That kind of attitude of the Doctor just shows that the Doctor is also like that one teacher. If you do your homework wrong or something like that, you honestly get shouted like that from a teacher. And that's honestly the same reaction that's when little children are fighting, or stupid humans are fighting over each other, causing so much conflict. The one Doctor is the one person who can just shut everybody up. You could just grow the hell up! The reaction just says it all and just completely shuts everybody up. I just see that the Doctor with his Malcolm Tucker essence, he feels like he wants to swear in his in this episode towards the humans, and I could just see him just saying, "Oh, just shut the." Yeah, I'm not going to swear on his channel, but that's like kind of the reaction that Peter Capaldi would say if these Romans and these Pits will continue to fight each other. Oh, but Peter Capaldi overall was outstanding. Unbelievable, brilliant in this episode, and I think that he knew so much about this episode compared to Bill, but I felt it was almost like a competition to see who knew more about the Ninth Legion of the Roman Empire and how they disappeared. Bill read the book, she knows the book, she loves the book. And also the Doctor had basically lived in Roman Britain, governed it, farmed it, everything, and juggled it really from Roman Britain. So you could just see how these two characters know so much about this mystery, the mystery of the Ninth Legion of the Roman Empire and how they disappeared. I just love it how they have so much banter, have so much competition of who can find the first Roman, who can find the battlefield where all these Romans were slaughtered. So it just really just shows that Bill and the Doctor just seem as a very great pair. They just seem so amazing together. It just really shows that kind of diversity between the Doctor with his alienness and his outright, you know, awkwardness at times, but then you've got Bill's realistic side that just shows that what many people in modern society can do. I mean, all these professors in the world may have so much knowledge of science, and all these historians always have the greatest researching ability to find out everything about the Ninth Legion or historical events. It just shows that humans can also be the same as the Doctor, but it says that the humans, they sometimes need to have a bit of willpower in order to succeed with what they have to do. And especially that's what happened in the end of the plot. When the plot actually finished for the episode, and when the humans or the Romans and the Pits were trying to draw back the creature to the portal, which the portal, I thought it was a really nice concept of where this creature or many creatures of the same species were confined through this portal in this other dimension, and these creatures were trying to break through the portal. One managed to get through and completely annihilated the entire of the Ninth Legion. So it just shows how powerful this creature is. And just imagine if all of the creatures were released, how would the Doctor stop him? It just shows that one creature can kill an entire legion of Roman soldiers compared to how many would kill like the entire human race. It just shows that how powerful these creatures are. I would have liked more than one, no, maybe two or maybe three. That would have been better because it would have served a lot of purpose for the titles called The Eaters of Light. I would have liked it if they had more than one to probably explain the title a bit more, but maybe this episode could probably fit as maybe The Eater of Light, but maybe not The Eaters of Light, unfortunately. And also, talking on the subject of negativity, I would have to say there are some bits where I did think that the episode needed to be improved on, especially with the introduction scene at the beginning. I thought it was nice to have those children running around the place that looked like a bit like Stonehenge in the modern present day. I thought that was a really good scene, but I think there needed to be a bit more motivational drive with that, because I thought it was a good scene, but it could have been a whole lot better. I mean, the crow didn't really give me any references to Face the Raven initially, because it just didn't really feel like that kind of raven. I mean, ravens are massive. I mean, these are just potentially just normal crows. I mean, there seems to be like very special crows. And if you think about it, when Bill was talking to that Roman soldier, and that Roman soldier said, "You're speaking Latin," and like Bill said, "Oh no, I'm not," and like, "Yes you are," and then Bill realizes about the TARDIS translation system. Where the hell did that come from? Seriously, did the TARDIS translation scene didn't feature in Extremis? When Bill was talking to the Pope, Bill couldn't understand a word of what the Pope was saying. Where did the TARDIS translation system go to? What's up with that? And then in fact that the Roman is actually talking in Latin, when Bill obviously sees that the Roman is just talking normal English, but to him, the Roman, Bill is talking in Latin, and Bill just doesn't know that at all, and just shows that the TARDIS translation system seems to be working after all. I mean, it wasn't just for that one-off in Extremis. It finally came back, and I'm really, really happy that they've managed to really bring back the TARDIS translation system finally again. Also, mentioning about the TARDIS translation system, this is my theory, and this is what I potentially think about what were the crows like in this episode. Obviously, they spoke the words doctor, dark. One person actually commented in one other video that I saw, and it was in one scene in one video that I commented, and it was from my good friend Adam Time Lord Fishwick. He did an actual reaction to the Eaters of Light, which I'll put the link in the description down below. I actually commented in his video, and he said that I swear that the crow said doctor and then master. But then I commented and said, and then I had a look at the subtitles, and he said that it was firstly doctor and then said monster, not master. So obviously it paid no reference to the master whatsoever, obviously John Simm's master, but we'll get to him a bit later on when it comes to the end of the review, where we have to talk about World Enough and Time next time trailer. Oh, it's going to be a good episode, that. I mean, when I'm saying good, I'm not saying just good. I mean, it has to be flipping awesome. If it's not, then what the hell has Moffat been doing for the past couple of months? Seriously. He needs to nail this finale. But anyway, mentioning about the TARDIS translation system. When the crows spoke the words dark, doctor, monster, all those different words, and just the way that humans just don't have intelligent conversations with crows now and again in the modern times. But as I said again, mentioning about the TARDIS translation system, I think that whenever Nardole hears the crow speak or hears it talk, I think it's merely the Doctor's TARDIS translation system that's actually translating what the crow is saying into English. That's probably what my theory is about how these crows are actually talking proper English, but when the Doctor's not there, you can't understand a word they're saying. So it's actually the TARDIS translation system that's actually helping you to understand what these crows are actually saying. They're not special crows, it's actually just making sense that the TARDIS translation system is actually what making these crows very, very ordinary crows, but they're just talking simple English because of the TARDIS translation system. That's just what they're saying. And it's the same thing maybe with the crow. Maybe these crows may think about these humans are talking so wacky and so nonsense. So it's very much the same opposite with Bill and the Roman, and then you have Nardole with the crow as well. So it's very much ties up with the TARDIS translation system in my opinion. So I thought that was a really, really nice thing, because the TARDIS translation system was oblivious in Extremis, but bringing it back into this episode was really, really necessary, because I could not probably understand a word if the Romans spoke a word of Latin. Never in my life I would learn Latin at all. It would never happen. But this episode though really felt of a very great, authentic historical episode. I mean, when you think about the modern episodes that have been very great historicals, like you've had The Unquiet Dead, you've had the Shakespeare Code, which I really like that. I watched it quite recently ago and I absolutely love that episode, because I might have to do a review on the Shakespeare Code, or this is what I'm planning. And I actually thought about it before when I was going to do the review, and I am going to mention it right now, that perhaps maybe after series 10, when I do all the previews and reviews, I think I might do a top 10 list on all of the episode 1s in every single series in Modern Who, and then that will all continue through episode 2s, episode 3s, episode 4s, episode 5s, and it will probably continue on until the end of all of the series finales and stuff like that. So I might actually do a top 10 of all of the episode 1s, episode 2s, episode 3s from every single modern series in Doctor Who up to now. So maybe that's probably something for me to do probably later after series 10, but that is something to consider, which I will hopefully do in my spare time after series 10. So yeah, I was thinking that this episode did feel like another great historical. I felt this episode was really peaceful. The music was just absolutely sublime. The settings were really amazing, and I really just love peaceful settings in Doctor Who, and when you blend it in with brilliant music by Murray Gold, it just really sets the tone for a great historical episode. And introducing the dark setting for the chase scenes when the monster's chasing Bill and the Roman as well, I thought that the chase scenes were really good, and it built up some atmosphere, and I really liked the pacing in this episode. As many people would think that the pacing would be an issue, but I quite like the pacing. I think the pacing was really well structured, and the episode itself was pretty well structured as well. And the Doctor explaining about the entire plot of how this creature came through another dimension and it slaughtered the entire of the Ninth Legion, and he knows everything about this creature up to when Carr was like, I'm the person who must stop it, and it's me who should destroy this creature. And Carr, I thought Carr was a bit stupid at the time. I mean, Mourning the Dead, I mean, she's obviously wasting time, as the Doctor said, because the more that she moans about the dead and all the people that she's killed and all the people that she's lost, it's just basically wasting time. And I really like how the Doctor just basically faced the truth of the Carr, because the Doctor was a bit underestimated of how this person, this one little tiny person with a, I think he called it a TV aerial weapon in her hand, and she was basically the gatekeeper of keeping this Eater of Light through, you know, guarding the gates to prevent these other Eaters of Light from getting into this dimension. So I thought that she was very overwhelmed with what the Doctor was going on about, but it just didn't really clicked in her mind at all. It just felt very oblivious to her that she doesn't really know what the Doctor's on about, and she keeps ignoring the Doctor, which I see that as a very stubborn attitude of a barbarian. Doesn't listen to any strangers at all. She thinks she's the leader, and of course she thinks that the Romans have killed everything, and she thinks it's right enough to kill all the Romans with this Eater of Light. Just let it loose into the wilderness, and hopefully that this creature would kill all of the Romans, all of the Ninth Legion soldiers, and that would be it. And so that really just sums up the answer to how all the Ninth Legion soldiers disappeared. But they basically got slaughtered by this Eater of Light. But in the real world though, how did it all happen though? We have no idea on how all of these Ninth Legion theories of how they all disappeared and how they were just all slaughtered in the end, and how they were all here, and perhaps they were just being slaughtered by this creature, by the Eater of Light, but also guarding the gate as well. And so that probably sums up the theory for the Eaters of Light and how the Ninth Legion disappeared. They all got slaughtered, and it was all caused by the death of Scotland. No, I'm only joking. It was only caused by that creature, but the creature was really great. I liked how it slithered, and it really was, and the creature was really fast, even catching up to Bill, which I saw her running in this episode. She runs a bit like, I'm not trying to criticise her here, but she does run a bit slow, just from my personal perspective. But the creature does seem really fast. Although she was a million miles away, the creature seemed instantly fast. And the way that it killed off all of the Roman soldiers, draining all of the light energy or all of the sunlight from the bodies, and it just left them like a pile of bones, completely disintegrated. I love the way how the monster killed. It was a really interesting way. And yeah, this episode itself was truly amazing. I mean, this episode could just possibly gone either way, but I'm glad how Charles Palmer took a very much authentic direction with this, because it really felt so authentic, it felt traditional, it felt a really great historical episode. And I think Mona Munro, as a writer, I think she should write another Doctor Who episode, because I think she definitely deserves another chance. Because I'm not saying that this episode was absolutely horrendous, but I definitely want to see Mona Munro do another different type of episodes. Maybe she does historical episodes. I would like her to do more historical episodes, and I would like her to return and do more episodes in Doctor Who, because she's a really great writer. She writes really great above average episodes. They may not be the best, but I see those episodes as really great episodes, above average, but certainly not below average. So that's a really great thing. And it's just really true that the Doctor can't take on every single fight. And I really liked how Charles Palmer went with the direction by letting the Romans and the Pits solve this mystery by themselves by defending off the creature through the portal into the next dimension. Because I just sometimes hate it when it's always the Doctor that's always the solution to every single episode. I always see it as a big fat reset button, that it's always the Doctor who solves everything in the end. But I really liked how this episode finished off in a direction where the humans defended off against the creature and they completely, well, vanished into the portal and they were never seen again. And I think that's probably the best solution to defend off the creature, to prevent it getting back into the present day again and maybe destroying the entire world. So I was really glad that these humans, or these Romans and Pits, had so much willpower to defend off against the creature, to preventing it coming back into the world and hopefully maybe destroying a lot of the barbarians and a lot of other people as well. So I was really happy with the ending itself, because it's always to the point where the Doctor is always the solution for everything. But when you have Romans and Picts who have great strong willpower within their characters, it just shows that the Doctor can't take on every fight. It's not the Doctor's fight, it's their fight, and it's their time to grow up and fight their fight. And I really liked how the Doctor mentioned about it, but then completely forgot it, and that these humans remembered about the quote that the Doctor said, "It's time to fight our fight." And I really liked their willpower. I think the characters, the characterization was certainly brilliant. Those Romans were really likeable, and especially I really liked how they really got along well with Bill, and especially that they found out that Bill was gay. And I really liked how these Romans were baffled or confused by Bill's choice of being gay. I felt these Romans were very much like, alright then, fair enough. They were really self-centered, and also they didn't really mind of Bill being gay at all. So it just shows that how sentimental these Romans are, but that they're not really huge slaughterous Romans at all. I mean, when Carl gave the description about the Romans, when I look back at the Romans in this episode, I don't see them as the robbers of the world, slaughterers. I don't see them as that kind of description. I see them as very much scared Romans, but scared is human, and it's very human for Romans to be scared and for them to run and be cowards, but they're not cowards at all. I see them as very great, heroic, but they ran for a purpose to save themselves, but also to stop other people from being killed. And they honestly helped other people, especially with Bill. They helped Bill escape from the creature, and they really served a great purpose within this episode. I'm really glad how they tackled with the gay concept, because with Roman's understanding about being gay and stuff, how Bill's being gay, I thought that would be a very difficult challenge for these Romans to properly understand. And I'm really glad how these Romans took a very modern side to their understanding of Bill being gay. So I thought these Romans were really great. I mean, the characterization was just really good. These barbarians were mean, they were ruthless, and they were really quite stupid at times when the Doctor just told them off from letting loose this creature into the wilderness. And also I liked the Romans as well, of how they were really scared of this creature, but being scared is human, and that's the one thing I really like about these Romans. They are human, they're not very special Romans, and the description that Carl gave them, I thought it wasn't a very great description of what this portrayed the Romans in this episode. I thought the Romans would be a bit more ruthless, but seeing in the situation that they were in, it didn't really matter to them to be robbers or to thieve from the poor or to, you know, basically to kill their enemies. It very much felt that the Romans didn't have very much great understanding about these barbarians, and that these barbarians were the cause for destroying all of their soldiers in the Ninth Legion by letting loose of this creature getting into the wilderness. And so the Romans took back, you know, revenge of killing all of the things that the barbarians loved for. And so it very much felt as a very equal share of what the Romans did and also what the barbarians did as well. But I have to say again, the characterization was really great, really sublime characterization. I thought the plot was really good. It felt very simple, but didn't feel too complicated, which I felt it was really nice to have a great plot line, but it just didn't really need to be that complicated. And I thought the Doctor was absolutely outstanding. As well as with Bill, Bill was really good. Knowing so much about the Ninth Legion and bringing back a Roman soldier was just something else that she wanted to prove to the Doctor, that she knows more about the Doctor, about the Ninth Legion. I thought Bill was just really sublime. She felt really relatable in this episode by taking the gay concept and explaining these to the Romans. Also the scared concept, that being scared is fine. And I just love it how Bill just shows so much relatable substance within every single episode. It just shows that you can learn so much from Bill from her relatable substance that she has. And it's just absolutely amazing. And also Nardole, I thought he was absolutely hilarious, especially his one line, "Death by Scotland." And funny enough, he had popcorn, and the Doctor stole off his popcorn, and he used the popcorn to get him out of the situation where they were held prisoners by the barbarians. And I thought escaping with the use of popcorn is something on me, and that's probably what Nardole would probably use as well. But this episode just really felt so authentic and really a great standout historical. I think it's up there with the Shakespeare Code in my opinion, as well as with The Unquiet Dead as well. Those are the two historical episodes which I see of this kind of fits in. It fits into the margin of an 8.5 or a 9. Very minor negativity for this episode. The episode could have been a lot executed better with the introduction scene. It could have had a bit more atmosphere built up within the beginning, so I thought that would have been a bit better. But also I thought that overall the episode was really amazing. So a good 8.5 or an 8.8 rating out of 10 for me. That's what I personally think for this episode. It's close to 9. It's close to be up there with, you know, many of my favourites from this series. I mean, there's been so many great episodes throughout this series, and we're coming to the end of the line, and we're coming to World Enough and Time, and that's, the title just really explains itself. Is the world enough, and is there time to save it? We're not too sure. However, I will have my preview for A World Enough and Time very soon. But anyway guys, thank you very much for watching for this review on the Eaters of Light. I hope you have enjoyed it. Make sure you leave a like on this video and also comment down below and tell me, what did you think of this episode? Was it a really great historical? I absolutely loved it, and I'm really interested to hear what your comments are in the comment section below about this episode. And make sure you do subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I seriously do apologise if I sound a bit out of breath and breathless, because gosh, it's just been so hot today. Oh, just having a nice cool drink is just really helping me out with this heat. Gosh, it just feels like the sun's just really getting to me. Thank goodness now, it's almost like the end of the day now. But anyway guys, thank you very much for watching for this review, and I will see you guys next time for my preview for World Enough and Time. And I'm gonna hope that Moffat, please don't mess this up. Oh, I do not want Moffat to truly mess this finale up. I mean, the next time trailer just looks amazing. I forgot to mention about the ending. I like Nardor's seriousness with the ending as well, like how Missy got out of the vault, and then the Doctor made friends with Missy. And funny enough, Missy is back in the finale, and I think it's almost like Missy's going to be like the Doctor, and the Doctor's going to be in the TARDIS, probably spectating her and watching her and see how she copes as being good in this episode. So maybe that's something to look forward to for the next episode, World Enough and Time. But Mondasian Simon and John Sims Master at the end of the Next Time trailer, holy crap. Oh, I'm about to swear, just like Malcolm Tucker is right now. Holy my gosh, I could swear a lot about this right now, but John Sims, all I have to say guys, I only have 4 words for you. Give us a kiss. Oh, John Sims Master is going to be absolutely phenomenal within this episode, I hope. I hope John Sims Master isn't in there just for a 30-second cameo, or I hope that the Mondasian Simon aren't just in this episode just again for another cameo. I'm not sure if Steven Moffat has basically made a tick list for all the things he wants in his finale, like okay, Mondasian Simon, John Sims Master, Missy being the Doctor. Okay, I think that should be everything. I hope this finale goes so well, and Moffat, I'm begging you Moffat, please do not mess this up. We've come so far, and it'll be an absolutely disappointment if you absolutely don't deliver the finale that we've absolutely been so waiting for such a long time. Moffat, do not disappoint us. Oh, but anyway guys, The Eaters of Light, an 8.8 rating out of 10, concludes my review on The Eaters of Light. Thank you very much guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time for my preview for World Enough and Time, the first part of the Series 10 finale. See you guys then. Bye for now.